I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be talking about how and why an ex comes back.
I bet that's people's favorite topic.
Yeah, you know, when you're going through the breakup, you kind of get stuck on that a lot. Mm-hmm. Instead of, maybe focusing on learning the skills or how to be a better partner or how to make your partner feel loved, you just kind of zone in on when are they going to come back, how are they going to come back, when is it going to happen. It takes over your mind.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you're unconscious.
Well, you feel like you're missing a limb.
Yeah. And it's like you just get stuck like a child lost in a store, and all you care about is when mom or dad is coming back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such an overwhelming feeling. So we're going to talk about this today. How does an ex come back? What do we see? Why do they come back? What do we hear? Mm-hmm. Obviously, we get a lot of success stories and hear them all the time. And what doesn't work, what works. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we see.
So to start out, your ex is probably expecting you to act a certain way after they break up with you. So for most breakups, the dumper has probably thought about it for quite a while. Mm-hmm. So they're expecting a certain reaction out of you that's likely negative. So breaking up with somebody is hard, mm-hmm. and they probably anticipated for a while that you were going to react this way. So initially after that breakup, I know many of you have already probably begged and pleaded and cried, and those are all normal reactions. I'm not here to shame you for feeling sad after the breakup.
That's my job. Just kidding. I did it as bad as you guys, probably worse.
Yeah. But starting from now, you have the chance to show your ex a different side of you and kind of give them an unexpected reaction.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have the opportunity to give an unexpected reaction, sometimes we get people that find the channel before the actual breakup. And that can help a lot because you can avoid a lot of mistakes, a lot of behaviors that will turn them off. You know, the begging, the pleading, the manipulating, the stalking. Please don't stalk. Don't drive by their house. Don't break in their house.
Break in.
We've heard it,
Wow.
Margaret.
Don't steal their lawn ornaments.
Sure you.
Yes.
Yeah, we've heard it, and we've had people get caught on camera breaking into the
Yes,
house.
we
You
have.
know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
That was a while ago. Those things stand out with us, right? So you got to do, if you can, the unexpected, and that will surprise them. Because, if you're able to be in a situation where you don't beg, plead, manipulate, do all those negative behaviors or things that turn them off, you're going to be in a much better position to cause them to regret the decision or make them feel like they're making a mistake.
Mm-hmm. And two things to that. If you give them an unexpected reaction, unexpected reactions almost always are growth producing. If you're in a pattern of behaving a certain way, an unexpected response can be very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have any opportunity to minimize those things, do it. If you are in a situation where they've already broken up with you, you probably made some mistakes or things that you regret. It's normal. It's part of a breakup. Nobody wants to be broken up with. Well, sometimes you do. Every once in a while. We just talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
But, it would be normal for you to do a certain amount of reaching out, pleading, begging. So you got to let it go and move forward from this point on.
No matter how hard it is.
Yeah.
And there's also a grief process that your ex goes through. It's not going to be the same timeline as you, but there is a loss for them even though they were the ones to break up with you.
Exactly. And people will say to us, I'm never going to hear from him or her again. She was really angry when she broke up, or he was really cold when they broke up. And people have to get cold to do the breakup. It doesn't mean they never loved you.
Oh, it feels like it.
But it feels like it. And people will say that, did this person ever love me or care about me? I don't know how they got so cold. And the answer is probably because they had to. Because I don't think it's a good experience for anybody to break up.
Right.
It's always painful, and I think you want to protect yourself as best you can. And getting cold sometimes follows that. But I always remind people, given how we're made to so desperately want connection, there's no way any human being can have a connection with you for a period of time that includes physical touch. They're not going to be able to forget you in 5 minutes.
Right.
And people say, I'm sure that my partner walked right out of the room and into somebody else's arms, and they're going to walk off into the sunset and live happily ever after. Probably not. Okay?
Probably not.
Probably not.
As we're talking about what makes them reach out and why they do it, we're trying to explain that when you stop reaching out to them, you stop the begging, the pleading, manipulating, and all that stalker behavior, even looking at their social media, that allows them the time and space to grieve, to think about it, and to regret their decision. Because you want them to fear losing you. When they've broken up with you, there is probably some part of them that is afraid of losing you. But you're making it so much easier when you've said, no, please, I'll do anything to work it out. Then there's no fear to take, that fear subsides. But as the days go on and you stop trying to reach out, that's why they start to wonder about you more and more and start to feel that separation anxiety and start to wonder about how your life is going, if you're dating somebody new, maybe the person that they thought that they was going to be so wonderful and perfect is starting to show true colors after a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And so these things happen, but it's a process for it to happen.
Right. And as they continue to process your absence, that's when these good memories start to pop up in their mind. They start to think about the times that you had, the memories that you shared. And the distance from the breakup actually helps with their perception of it. So it's kind of like when you're a kid and you play in a playground and you think it's so huge. And then as an adult, you come back to it and you're like, wow, that was a really small swing set. That is nothing like how I imagined it when I was a kid. And so this is the same exact thing that happens after a breakup. When you're in the heat of the moment, things feel and you perceive things to be completely different from what they are with time and space.
Yeah, as you've had time for the anger or the hurt or the frustration in the relationship to change, and for that person to think about things and maybe mistakes they made and start owning things within themselves instead of maybe just blaming you for why we're not together anymore, right? Because people do that a lot. That allows them to see a possibility of repairing things, right? But you need that time and space for it to happen.
Yeah.
And we hear, it's been 3 days since I heard from them.
Yeah.
I'm never going to hear from them again. Or it's been 3 weeks since I've heard from them. And absolutely, that means I'll never hear from them again. And it can be months.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's common
I
for
think
months.
So too.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think 30 days really does a dent in anything.
No.
I think you're looking at least 3 months. I think that's a good amount of time where some people will start to have enough time around that 90-day mark, Margaret, where they've processed things. We've talked a little about that.
But don't panic at the 90-day
Oh, no.
mark either if it doesn't happen.
No.
But processing things takes time, and it's hard because we live in an instant world. And I think we forget the concept of process, that things unfold over time, and especially emotions. And it can be several months before you hear from them again. And we hear people putting up artificial deadlines. Well, I know if it gets to be 3 months, I'm not ever going to hear from that person again. No, it doesn't mean that.
No, a lot of times I would be surprised if you heard from them within 3 months.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And then we get to the no contact. You want your partner to miss you. You want them to have time to miss you. You don't want to make them feel better by reaching out. You want them to sit with the consequences of losing you and the anxiety around that.
Absolutely.
As mean as it sounds.
It's critical.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
critical.
And I also think that the time that it takes for an ex to think about you or consider the relationship again also depends on the length of the relationship. For many of you who have been in long-term relationships or even married for many, many years, it's going to take a while for them to be convinced that things are going to be different. If they've been, if they haven't feel heard for, let's say, 30 years, then it's going to take more than just a couple months for them to believe that a relationship where they do feel heard and understood is going to happen.
And that's really where I was going to go with this too,
Yeah.
is that there's a big part of your ex that doesn't really think you're going to change. And that's why we stress doing the work. Do those workbooks 30 minutes a day. Do the creative healing course 30 minutes a day. Watch the videos 30 minutes a day, or whatever feels comforting to you. But you've got to do more than just watch no contact videos. You've got to learn the skills and make the changes, so when you get in front of your ex again, they're saying to you, wow, you have changed.
Yeah.
Not you're sitting there like a used car salesman trying to show him you've changed after 6 days.
Right.
Somebody recently was like, I told you about that one, the email I did.
Yeah.
It's about 6
It's
days.
been 6 days and I want to show her that I'm changed. And I'm like,
No, you can't change in 6 days.
6 days?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the way it works.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've put out the video yet on what to do while you're waiting for your ex.
I don't know if we put that one out yet.
I don't know if you
I
did,
can't
but
remember.
there is one that says what to do when you're waiting for your ex to do something and you're in that awful waiting period. And it suggests things like think about your attachment styles, think about, your love languages. There are lots of things you can think about when you're in this terrible period.
Yeah.
Okay? That you would do differently if the person came back.
The bottom line is either your ex is going to reach out to you, or they're going to move forward with their life and not give it another opportunity. But you need to put yourself in the best position for that to happen. Now, we didn't talk about how they come back yet.
Right.
Okay? The thing that I discovered years ago, and I remember I kept seeing this pattern of these indirect, direct approaches. People are so scared to reach out. Even if they've broken up with you, now they're anxious about rejection and how you will take reaching out to them. So I coined the phrase indirect, direct approach. And what that means is that your ex reaches out in some way that often leaves you confused. Okay? Now, sometimes they'll use like a bill as an excuse, or something that looks legitimate. But a lot of times it's something really confusing, like, I found your brother's old sweatshirt, do you want it? Or something that they know you don't really care about. And when you get this, you're going to be panicked, right?
Right.
But it's really because they want to talk to you.
This can get a little confusing when their indirect direct approaches are so legitimate. And I see a lot of comments about this too. Is them asking for their stuff back an indirect direct. So I know that it can be very tricky to discern whether they're trying to reach out for you for the sake of connecting with you, or if they legitimately need their stuff back.
And they may not know.
That's true.
Honestly, oh gee whiz, I really needed to call him. And you may not even know that you really were desperate to call him and just found an excuse.
Yeah.
So they may not be clear on it, so how possibly could you be?
I had one that always stood out to me. I had an avoidant on the call with me, and she told me she contacted the guy about her car key. Now that seemed like right on the cusp,
Yeah.
right? Like a
Yeah.
car key's a kind of pain in the butt to replace. You'd have to,
Yeah.
they're kind of expensive.
True.
So I think they're like a couple $100
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
You got to go to the deal. That's a pain in the butt. So I'm like, ooh, that's a really tough one. But fortunately, I was on the call, and she was the one who did it. And she was like, no, it was an excuse.
So she knew, good for her.
And she wound up hooking up with him over it. Yeah, I think when they wound up exchanging the key or whatever. It's been a while since I did that
So it
call.
was the key to her heart.
Yeah, it was, and the car. Meep meep.
I know a lot of exes are now secretly leaving their car keys.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of people also have shame in directly telling their ex they want to have contact or that they do miss them. And this could be more related to the avoidant attachment style, as Craig was talking about, because that vulnerability might have been seen as a weakness. Or it might seem as going back on your word to say, oh wait, you miss me, but you broke up with me. So it is kind of a mixed message there. But how you respond to this is going to make a difference in how things move forward. So you want to make sure that you take it easy, that you don't immediately jump on their indirect direct and be like, yes, I love you, I've been waiting for this message forever, let's go out tonight.
No.
You want to take things easy. I think the first thing you should do is breathe. I know it sounds simple, but for many of you, just hearing back from your ex can be such a shock. And really you don't know when it's going to happen. It's like the return of Jesus. Nobody knows
We
what's
know
gonna
not the
happen.
day or hour.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, look, Jesus is coming. Look busy.
That, you could give, if your phone finally goes off and it's your ex, you could give it to somebody so you don't reply right away because you're gonna panic.
Yeah.
The key is not to panic when it happens. Oftentimes you get so swept up in hearing from them that you go and make a lot of mistakes right away, like texting them all night. No, we want you to set a date in person
See them.
to see them, and you don't want to settle for anything less than that. And I highly recommend that you don't give them very much until they see you in person, because you want to rebuild the connection in person. If they really want to see you, if they really want to know what's going on in your life and they really want to give it another chance, you're going to get it turned around in person.
But sometimes people pressure to set up a date, and you can't overdo that either.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with that. You don't want to pressure, but you want to attempt to set one. And if they don't want to, then you say, okay,
Yeah.
give me a call when you want to get together.
Yep.
Nice and casual,
Yeah.
relaxed. You're not pressuring, but you're not going to sit there and text them and relieve all their anxiety that's been building up for however long.
Right.
And another word of warning is that this is really going to test your emotional self-control. Because for many people, you are just like a balloon that is filling with more and more anxiety until the moment that your ex texts you or until the moment that you see your ex in person. And so once you see them, it's like this balloon pops, and then all of the emotions and everything that you held inside of you for all of this time has the tendency to want to come up and you want to talk about it. We don't recommend this.
Yeah. Now, see, when I see the balloon, I see it letting out air going crazy, like
Like one of those airhead commercials.
Yeah.
with you spitting your everything all over them,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
completely turning them off. You gotta stay centered. The more work that you do, the more you truly get secure, work through your issues and get to a place that you feel good about who you are, the more likely you're going to stay centered when your ex reaches out. Okay? And the more you're just watching no contact videos, the more you're going to completely blow it when you get in front of them, and they're going to sense right away that you're still the same, the relationship will still be the same, and we're just not going to work out or be compatible.
And on top of that, they'll probably feel a lot of pressure when, they might still be feeling ambivalent. They might still not be sure that they want to jump into this relationship again. So you want to make sure that you take that easy and that you take their feelings into consideration.
Yeah, you want them to go into this date thinking, well, I don't think we're going to get back together, but I'll see how it goes, to, oh my gosh, I didn't think I would want to try again, but I had so much fun, and he seems so different, or she's so much different now, that the attraction just kind of sparks right back up. But it's really important that you do what you're supposed to do while you're in no contact, and that way when they do start to miss you and all those things happen that we discussed, and they do reach out, most likely with an indirect direct approach, every once in a while it's an I miss you, but not very often. You'll be ready, and that's why we do coaching, to help you get ready. We talk about whatever's going on in your situation and explore all the nuances of what you have going on for that situation. And if you want to get our help, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I can be helpful, please sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. And Coach Victoria will continue to train with us.
I'll still be here.
So hopefully you enjoyed this video, but that's it for this one. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to AskCraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.